With me today on the 1 to 11 couch is a man with 5 Premier League titles to his name. If you throw in the FA Cup, League Cup and a Champions League winners' medal as well, then we are in for a real treat as we look back at Mikael Silvestre's illustrious career.
Manchester United. Mikael Silvestre.
What a simple header for Mikael Silvestre. And the header finds its way in the net from Mikael Silvestre.
It's Mikael Silvestre, the most unlikely of goal scorers.
Silvestre again.
Mikael Silvestre.
Mikael, brilliant to have you here. Welcome. Look, starting back in the early days, did you grow up in a football-crazy house in France?
Absolutely. Through my dad, my cousin, uncles, everybody would play football, whether it was amateurs or professional. So it was all about football in house.
How inspiring was your cousin, Franck? I mean, he was playing at a very good level when you were a kid.
Yeah, it did. So we are 10 years apart, 10 years older, Frank. And so let's say when I was 10, 11, he was already lifting the trophy for the under-21 championship with the likes of Eric Cantona. And then early on again, he played the FA Cup final for Sochaux. So it was an inspiration to see him. And for me, it was never a dream. It was like, if my cousin can do it, so do I.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he, in that youth setup with France, played with some unbelievable players, didn't he? And coached by some unbelievable players.
Yeah, I was lucky. You know, I joined the national team under 17 and joining Thierry Henry, Nicolas Anelka. Even though Nicolas was 2 years younger, he still was with us. David Trezeguet, William Gallas. So we had a great generation.
And look there at that picture behind you. I mean, 1989, that France squad, we've got Michel Platini in the middle there. Gerard Houllier is on the middle row, right at the end on the right. And if you come in 2 from him, there we see Frank. Yes,
my cousin there, he left home very early and joined Sochaux Academy and straight away into the national team at the young age with Michel Platini as a head coach, Gerard assistant in the staff.
Top left, he wasn't bad, was he?
Top left, Laurent Blanc.
Yeah.
We have Jean-Pierre Papin on lower rank, Ballon d'Or. So yeah, no, it was a good generation. They didn't achieve as much as they should have, but yeah, my cousin being there was amazing.
What a shirt as well. I love that. The French know how to make football shirts, that's for sure. And look, your dad said to you, if you want to be a footballer, you've got to do well at school. You were a history buff, weren't you? And you went on to study, I think, was it sports science?
Yes, I tried. So I graduated from baccalaureate, and in Rennes we had a good setup at the academy where we could join university, but sports science was kind of difficult if you do rock climbing and the next day you go training, or I had to travel and play with the team. So I didn't finish, I didn't graduate, but it was a good experience.
When did it become serious that you thought I could make a career out of this?
As soon as I joined the Academy of Rennes, because you sign a contract, it's quite serious. So you know, you're like, okay, now I'm in that path, and I want to succeed and become a pro at some point. The club, when I signed, was in second division in League 2. So, but it was already a good academy producing a lot of good players.
Well, look at those names at the bottom of the screen there. I mean, you know, up to today, you know, Camavinga, the likes of De Gea, Wiltor.
They keep producing players. It's a very successful academy. So most of the players would go to Lyon, PSG, but third choice would be Rennes.
So in 1998, you got the most incredible move, didn't you, from France to the San Siro, to Inter Milan, 98-99. What a season, and what a squad of players. We're talking the likes of Baggio, of Pirlo, of Zamorano, of Ronaldo, and some of those might be in your team, spoiler alert as well. You were even managed by Roy Hodgson at the end of that season. Yeah,
it was an amazing move. I couldn't even dream about this type of move and playing with this type of players. Yuri Djorkaeff just won the World Cup. Yeah. So it was after the 98. Ronaldo Fenomeno was in the squad, and it was just star after star sitting in that dressing room and be able to to play at that level was amazing.
And Inter had just won the UEFA Cup in the summer that you joined.
They did. You remember that trick of Ronaldo on the side on Nesta, and then the double step over without going over the ball actually in front of the goalkeeper. It was amazing.
What a grounding for you to play at that level at such a young age in Serie A, because Serie A was, I mean, it still is today, but you know, back then was huge.
It was the strongest league at the time in 98, 99, the 90s. So it was unbelievable. That same season, Inter took Andrea Pirlo as well, not a bad player. He was 17 years old, I believe. And it was a great step up, massive step up. Managed to play enough games.
Did you feel at home in a squad with those sorts of names? Did you feel comfortable straight away coming into that dressing room?
So there was a little bit of cheating in terms of preparation to integrate properly, because we knew, because I went with my friend, Ousmane Dabo, my best friend, and we knew a year in advance that we would join the club. So we could take Italian lessons before, so from French for an Italian as well. It wasn't that difficult. So we were prepared mentally to join.
There you are. Look, second in from the bottom on the right there.
Yes.
I mean, look at those players, and obviously Ronaldo at the back left.
Yes, so such a good, I mean, in terms of personality, very strong mentally. I mean, if you get to that level and you play for all of those players would be national team players, and there is already 2 Ballon d'Or, Roberto Baggio, Ronaldo, and the rest are not bad. Diego Simeone, Morano, Zanetti.
Crazy names, aren't they? And look, in March '99 of that season, you played against Manchester United in the Champions League. Of course, on the way to Manchester United winning the treble and winning that Champions League. You were injured for the first leg, weren't you? But played in the second. Leg. At this stage, you have no idea that you're going to end up at Old Trafford.
No, absolutely not, because I'm coming to Manchester, even if I'm injured, to support the team and be there. And for a change, it was raining for 3 days. And I'm like, whoa, this is tough environment to live in. But then we go to the stadium, amazing atmosphere, Champions League night. And we come up on the second leg. I was able to play, facing Bex on the side. And disappointing ending for us. But then I followed the rest of the competition. So they go on and beat Juventus, and winning against Bayern Munich the way they did at the Camp Nou was crazy.
Sensational night for Manchester United, wasn't it? And then what about the move to the Premier League? Because am I right in saying it could have been Liverpool? I don't think the United fans are going to want to hear that. You made the right choice, they would say. Yeah,
the first one to show an interest was Gerard at Liverpool, because he was also my coach at under 20 level with national team. And we had the conversation, but a few days after, Sir Alex also made a call. It was a short conversation, because with my broken English and his broken French, I understood he wanted me, but that was about it. But there was no comparison at the time with United place in the league and in Europe and Liverpool.
And your debut was against Liverpool, which we'll get to later, won't we? Let's get into the team, shall we? Just quickly, how difficult was this, given the names that you've had to choose from?
It was very difficult for every position. I had a few choices in my head.
You've got about 4 choices per position, have you? And starting with the goalkeeper. So tell everyone who you've gone for in goal.
I went for Fabien Barthez. So I've known Fabien in the national team. But first of all at United. And I think so he's a player before being a goalkeeper. You know, he was a rugby player, so agile, very good with his feet. And Fabian's football was fun, you know, and so he was so laid back, relaxing everybody. You know, when you're a young player, and you join the national team and you play for United, that level, you need someone behind you who's very calm. And I haven't been playing with someone any more laid back than Fabien.
Really?
Amazing,
And what about shoes to fill in terms of Peter Schmeichel? So I don't think was the calmest, was he? Peter Schmeichel.
No.
He would let you know he was there.
Yeah. But I didn't play with Peter, so I couldn't compare.
But Fabian, when he came to Old Trafford, you know, United are looking for that keeper of Schmeichel's standard. Yeah,
there was Massimo Taibi before, and Fabian came the following season, and he had a fantastic first season. Even though he's not the tallest, he was so good in the air. Anticipation, his technique, catching was great.
Was he underrated? 2 Premier League titles in 4 years at Old Trafford?
No, I think I mean, the first season was great, and then after that, he dropped a little bit his focus on the game. He accepted to be second behind Team Howard. But
why did that happen? Do you think that focus dropping?
It was outside of the pitch stuff, I think, because in terms of football, he was always giving 100%, but the focus of the goalkeeper is even more intense than any other players.
Did you ever go in for the Laurent Blanc kiss on the head?
No, I wouldn't dare. It was their thing. It was.
You didn't need to, because obviously Laurent Blanc came to Old Trafford when you were there, and they still did it.
Yeah, they did it. They did it. So we had a little French party together. When we would travel, we would speak a lot and be together. It was good fun.
So you're playing three centre-backs, right? Not that we need to worry too much about the formation, but who is going in then as your second choice, your first defender?
So Jaap Stam. So Jaap was impossible to pass on a 1v1, so strong. And also for someone who was that tall and that big, that impressive physically, he was very good on the ball. I mean, United always looking for defenders who can play from the back, and Jaap being brought up in Holland as that ability to play. So he had enough fineness in his game to be one of the one at the back who would settle for the attack.
And look, high praise from Peter Schmeichel. He said that he was the greatest defender that played in front of him. Did he leave United too early? I mean, I think I know the answer to that. Even Sir Alex, in hindsight, said that was his biggest mistake in football, letting Stam go. Yeah,
surely it was a shocking news for us because Jaap was at his peak, really, and physically was also strong. So it was a surprise. He would have been such a big part of the next generation going forward.
It was good for you that he left in terms of minutes, wasn't it?
Not really, because we played together, so we were not really in competition because I was playing more on the left, either centre back or left back, and he would play on the right.
Yeah. What was he like in the dressing room, Stam?
He was quite fierce, He was quiet. I wouldn't say introvert, but not the loudest in the dressing room. He didn't need to. Just his presence would impose enough.
Yeah. I know the United fans still say it today, don't they? They just wish they'd had him for another 5 years there. They did all right without him, didn't they? But imagine what another 5 years at Stam at Old Trafford could have done. So who's playing in the middle of your back three and the centre backs?
In the middle, I'm going for Rio Ferdinand. So Rio has been playing for United most of his career, and it was a pleasure to play with him because he was obviously good defensively, and he was very classy on the ball. His technique was probably the best technically of all the defenders I've played with, really? Especially the centre backs. Yeah.
What made him the best then, in your eyes?
Just pure technique, control pass, but also the tricks and his ability to finish or to beat people 1v1 in short space as well. He has ability to get out of here.
Did you know what you were getting in 2002 when he came from Leeds? Because it was a controversial move, wasn't it? Anyone who knows English football will tell you Leeds to Old Trafford, oh, good luck.
Yeah, I think he knew, but stubborn and a strong mentality. So when you want something, and Rio was strong-minded, you have to deal with it. If you want to play for United, you're going to face much more than that.
Yeah. Right, so the third centre-back, who is going in that slot for you?
So the third one is Nemanja Vidic. What a warrior, He would put where you wouldn't put your head, he would put it. Amazing. He's had so much scars, but what a competitor. And he came with so much determination. He's had a lot of red cards, but I think he's one of the best defenders I've played with.
Did he toughen up Manchester United when he came?
Yeah, he did. I think, when player come to United, you're looking at their main strengths, what they're bringing. And he really brought that fighting spirit.
Yeah.
Anywhere on the pitch, he would never give up and give more than 100%.
Do you think that partnership with Ferdinand and Vidic is the best in Premier League history?
So far, I think it is, because it's difficult to find that balance between tough in the challenge and being able to play from the back. And I think they were complementing each other very well. They understood each other very well, and yeah, I think this is the best.
And what about his character, away from the pitch and, nights out in Manchester and so what was Nemanja Vidic like? Because we never really saw much of him interview-wise, he kept himself to himself.
Very nice, very open, speak a lot, and he came from Serbia, so, ex-Yugoslavia, a lot of, it was just the war region, so he had some things more than us in terms of determination and the will to reach his goals.
Yeah, 13 major honours, not bad, is it? Nemanja Vidic, incredible. And between him and Rio Ferdinand, I don't even know how many. So look, when we look at what you've got so far formation-wise, and we look at the players you've gone for, we've done the goalkeeper and we've done your back three. Who was really unlucky to miss out then, given, not just in the Premier League days, but having played with those players at Inter Milan as well?
Yeah, we have some players missing, but are we going on the midfield now?
No, we're going to do that later. But I'm just thinking, out of those defenders, who was close to coming in the team?
Close to come in, obviously Patrice Evra.
Yeah.
But I had to go with with these guys first.
And of course, all the the guys you play with for France as well. That's
Lilian Thuram.
Crazy names.
Lilian Thuram.
Desailly?
And, Marcel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Choices. We'll get to the midfield after the break, and we're going to talk about the first hairdryer that Mr. Silvestre had from that man, Sir Alex Ferguson, and how did he recover from that? I'm sure he had a few hairdryers. We'll talk about those later. So, Mikael, your first Sir Alex Ferguson hairdryer, when was that?
I'm laughing now, but I wasn't. It was against Southampton, 4 games in my career at United. And I got dispossessed on the right side after an interception. And straight after, they score the equalizer. And I remember that hairdryer very well. So here we am, interception. I think I've got time. Misjudged the position of Barhouse. He serves Letizier, and at 3-3. So after in the dressing room, I got Sir Alex yelling at me, obviously in English, and I understand half of it, but one part I understand clearly. He says, if you carry on like this, or you do it another time, I will send you back to France.
Really? With
a lot of F word in
how was your English at the time?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Understood enough.
Yeah, enough, and it was very powerful and in my face. So I was like trying to
get smaller and smaller. Was he waiting for you down the tunnel?
No. He's going through everyone and talking about the game, and then he goes, and you at the end, and he goes, Mikael, da.
So, but he wasn't afraid to, pick out the best players, or was he? I mean, I heard Cantona never got. I mean, obviously that was before your days, but there were some players who didn't get as much as a hairdryer, even if they'd made big mistakes.
I think he treated everybody the same. That's why
apart from Eric Cantona.
Maybe Eric had a joker.
Yeah. So what was that like joining Manchester United? Months after they've just pulled off the most incredible treble.
Yes, the team, obviously the team wasn't good enough, so they had to come for me. No, but joking apart, I came very early in September, and 2 days after signing, the day after signing, I was playing against Liverpool. But that team was just, as soon as I felt like we were a little bit not playing 100%, as soon as everybody was on tune, we would beat anybody.
Yeah.
So 2 years in a row, we won the league. And it was a great feeling to play with such an easy team to play with.
But are you a confident guy? You kind of, chest out, walk into that dressing room. You'd come from a great Inter Milan side. Yeah,
it was easy to integrate because I was coming from that dressing room, and there was much more pressure in Italy with the fans, with the president sacking the coach every other month.
Yeah.
So coming at United, the lifestyle and the way we would prepare and approach the game, it was a lot about, the intensity was amazing every training session, but in terms of approach, it was more relaxed and having fun.
Yeah.
So it was a good way to switch from from Italy with a lot of pressure to England.
What do you remember about that first week? Because it was crazy, wasn't it? In terms of hecticness, you know, I think 48 hours after you signed, you were playing against Liverpool, but you were away on international duty as well.
Yes, you know, it's something that you can't describe because I didn't have time to really think about or, you know, put pressure on myself. It was just travel, meet the coach, meet the manager, sign a contract on Friday morning, train, travel to Liverpool, and play the next morning at 11:30, kick-off. A team I could have joined, and we won. And after that, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm there now.
What kind of emotions does this bring back when you see this footage?
You know, I haven't seen those footage probably since we played the game. And it's a strange feeling because, like 3 days before I was in Ukraine or Armenia playing with France and the France under 21s. And next thing you know, I'm there at Anfield playing with this unusual kit, which was, it felt like a little bit of the pyjama.
I remember it. It was,
the blue one, It was a good feeling to wear it, but it was strange. It was so heavy and hot.
Yeah, you don't want to play in the sun in that blue kit, do you?
No, absolutely not.
And you had Jamie Carragher to thank as well?
Yeah, like he scored many own goals.
Yeah.
And no, it was a great debut.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than that, does it? Signing for Manchester United and then, you know, at Anfield for your
At
Premier League
Anfield,
debut.
I remember the fans having a go at me, but again, my English wasn't great, so I didn't care much.
Watch it back and now you'll know the words, maybe. So look, you obviously signed as a centre-back, but Sir Alex had this persuasive power of saying, oh, we're going to, you know, put you at left back. And, you know, eventually you sort of filled the shoes of Dennis Irwin, the massive shoes of Dennis Irwin. What was that like?
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't know too much of Manchester's history and the players. So when the gaffer told me you're going to be starting to cover at left back because we've got a injury crisis on the flank, it was easy for me because I was capable of playing the two positions and I didn't mind. You know, if he was asking me to play goalkeeper, centre forward, I would have accepted it. You know, it was just about getting in there and enjoying myself. 9
years at Old Trafford. What was your favourite season?
My favourite season has to be reclaiming the title back in 02-03 because we won the first two when I joined. We lost it to Arsenal, and then that season, particularly, we had to fight really hard. It was a tough one to win. Leeds was in the mix as well, and Arsenal was our strongest opponent. And it was harder, so the sweeter to enjoy.
Those emotions when you've got your hands on the trophy, and you did it so many times, 5 times at Manchester United, but does the emotion spill over to the next day, to the next week, and so on? Or is it all contained in that exact? You know, try and sum up, bottle that moment for us.
No, so obviously you enjoy the moment you're holding the cup because your family is in the stand, everybody is watching, the fans are there, they're cheering for us, and it's a fantastic moment to share with everyone. But after that, it stays with you a little bit more because you think about the entire season, and it's a reward for all the effort and the moment where you were down and you celebrated. But yeah, it's a compilation of moments that go through your head.
Yeah. So that was the standout season. What about the standout moment in a United shirt?
The stand-up moment has to be for me lifting the Champions League in 2008 because this is my 10th season into the Champions League competition. So every year, you know, you give interviews, what's your aim to this year? You want to win it, you want to win it. Yeah. And finally, 10 years in, I can lift the trophy finally. And it was after coming back after an injury. I had my cruciate that season, so it was a tough one. And my wife and my best friend came to Moscow, and amazing night.
Yeah, I bet it was. 2008, you joined Arsenal. I mean, Arsene Wenger, a big part of the persuasiveness in that, but you could have been a Manchester City player. You made all the right choices in terms of United fans. Didn't go to Liverpool, didn't go to Manchester City.
Yeah, a good call at halfway through the medical. And
it was that close? So you were having a medical?
Yes. First part of the medical was some testing, physical testing in the morning, and then afternoon I was supposed to do more the cardio and MRI. But I had the call in the middle of the day of Arsene telling me he wanted me at Arsenal, and I had to make a phone call to Mark Hughes and say, Mark, I'm sorry, but I've had this conversation, and he was so class. He said, look, if I was in your shoes, I would have done the same. So have a chat with Arsene, go down there. If you can agree a deal, do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can come back. But I didn't come back up.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And that was at the beginning of City's sort of takeover with the Abu Dhabi United group, wasn't it, as well? Let's get back into the team, shall we? And I know it's hard for you to pick the defenders, probably even harder when we go through midfield. So who's going in as the fifth choice on that right side of midfield?
So the right side has to be David Beckham, Bex. So everybody knows about his ability to cross and free kicks. But for me, people must know that he was one of the hardworking player on the pitch in training, and his capacity, the aerobic capacity he had, was, I've never seen this. I've played with Zanetti, with a lot of people who has amazing stamina, but Bex would finish the, when you do the blip test after pre-season to see what's your fitness like, he would finish the tape.
Really?
He would finish the tape. Like there would be no...
No one ever beat him?
No. Oh, amazing. And I know he wasn't, like, he's been working, but it was just natural for him. Yeah. So, Guy Neville's been very, very lucky to have him working as hard.
I think Neville knows that, and he said that many times, doesn't he? So, you know what I'm going to ask you. February 2003, losing against Arsenal, FA Cup, at Old Trafford. You were in the dressing room when that infamous boot came flying from Fergie. What was that moment like?
Yeah, it was surreal. I couldn't understand, but, I mean, Sir Alex was a striker, right?
And he hit the target.
He hit the target.
Or did he accidentally hit the target?
Accidentally, but at the same time, he was having the hairdryer giving the hairdryer to Beck. So
because he left shortly after that, didn't he, to Real Madrid?
Yeah, that was the end of the good relationship between the two.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, Beckham's used to a hairdryer, isn't he, with all that hair that he had back then in 2003. But you were also there at the sort of height of his celebrity as it really started to escalate. What was that like sort of for him? Did he get any nice invites to nice events?
It was. We had a lot of parties all together, and Bex would be there, obviously, with Victoria and paparazzi, which was new for me because in Italy and France we didn't have that in my team. So yeah, it was new, and you had to adapt. But I've always been kind of laid back, and I didn't pay too much attention. But it was part of our daily routine, and the difference was really when we would go on tour in Asia. That was crazy. We would close the shopping mall really for us to go and have a wander around because there was United fans, but the Bex mania in Asia was amazing.
Who's going in at number 6 in midfield?
Number 6, Roy Keane. Strongest midfield player I've known. Great player all around the ball. Maybe only one part of the play which wasn't as stronger was the long distance ball, but he didn't need that. But his ability to retain possession was great.
What was a Roy Keane dressing room talk like? And did Sir Alex let him have that talk? Did Sir Alex stand back?
They would complement each other. When Sir Alex was leaving the floor, maybe Roy was going in, or vice versa. But they had the same desire of winning and what football was about. You die if you're ready to die for United, then you belong in the dressing room. If you're not capable of doing that, then you don't. And he would tell you. Was
that an interesting relationship, Sir Alex and Roy?
Yeah, it was a good dynamic. They would play cards on the bus.
Roy and Sir Alex?
Yeah, with Dwight York and Dennis Irwin or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Who would clear up there? Would Sir Alex have the better of them?
I don't know. I wasn't involved, but I was the table next to them, so I would see.
Oh, you were on the second. You didn't get to the elite table.
No.
You have to be invited onto the.
Yeah, my English wasn't good enough. Remember?
Right. Who's going in next to Roy Keane? The names just keep on coming.
Yeah, Paul Scholes. What a player.
Yeah.
Capable, obviously, of doing the defensive duty in that position, but also scoring, creating. I mean, for me, when I was starstruck, really, it's one pre-season, me and him stayed behind after 2004, so we had to train with the reserve, and we played with these young players. And it doesn't matter which team he was on when we would play five-a-side or possession. his team would win.
Yeah.
He made all the other players better because he would know how to position himself. The 1-2, the 1-2-3s, everybody would look at him and he would find the right space.
Yeah.
I've never seen this, ever.
Here's a massive question for you, like not including wingers, so not including Cristiano or David Beckham, so on. Central midfielders, the best that you've ever played with, the best in Premier League history for you, is Paul Scholes?
Yeah, it's Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, definitely. His capability of, making teammates better. You know, obviously he would create assists and goals, but everybody around him would give him the ball because we know he would make good use of it.
What's his reputation like abroad then? You know, when you were at Inter, I know he was obviously younger then, but is it just as good as it is in the UK, in the Premier League?
No, he wasn't as recognized.
Yeah.
Obviously,
which is
the
crazy,
top
isn't it?
players-
Given his talent.
yeah. But you know, back then there wasn't that much social media and covering of the Premier League abroad. You know, before I joined the Premier League in France, you can only watch really the Italian football. We don't have much of the Premier League on TV.
Yeah, 21 years he had at Old Trafford, 20 major trophies, incredible. So let's finish off the midfield. I wonder who's going on the left.
I have to play Cristiano.
Yeah.
You know, normally it's not his position, but he can play anywhere. And he came as a boy, he became a man, and became one of maybe the best player in the world with Messi.
When you saw him come in, what was that like? Because, you know, was he just as cocky when he came in? Was he straight into the step-overs in training?
Yeah, this he had, because that's when he signed from Sporting. We played him in a pre-season game, so he kept that.
Were you on that plane on the way back? Is that right, that everyone just went to Sir Alex? You're not getting off the plane until you sign this?
In the dressing room before leaving the stadium,
Really?
a few players went and say, "Boss, we need to get this boy because he can add value to us."
Yeah,
sure.
He wanted the number 28 shirt, which is what he had at Sporting. He ended up getting the 7. Is he the best United player to have worn the number 7 shirt?
No, before George Best.
Yeah, you would.
Eric Cantona.
Best is
Beckham. Yeah, well.
all better than Cristiano.
Cristiano, probably because of what he's achieved after, also, you know, going to Madrid and Juventus and the Ballon d'Or 5 times. It's not that bad.
Yeah. So look, another player that you saw come in as a youngster at Old Trafford, Mr. Who is going in up top?
On top, we have Mr. Rooney.
So when he came from Everton, I think it was the highest fee paid for a player under the age of 20. Debut, hat-trick, Champions League, Fenerbahce. Incredible. What a start.
What a start. So that preparation of a game, there was only one word on the board, which was speed. So no team talk. So we were baffled with the preparation. And Wayne jumped straight back, straight in the team, scored those goals, hat-trick. What he's done for Everton before was already impressive in terms of...
And you came up against him as an Everton player, didn't you? So how tough was he to mark then?
It was, so when he came on at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So United versus Everton. He came on as a sub and very, very fast.
Yeah.
You know, and very direct. He would take on players and no, don't worry about... I mean, you didn't feel like he was 17 or 18. It was great.
Some unbelievable goals, isn't he? The technique.
Well,
I mean, the Derby volley as well. You know, the overhead kick, incredible.
One of the best number 9 in Premier League history.
City fans will tell you that came off his shin. Look, we'll move on from that one. So in the middle of the front three, the names get bigger and bigger.
Yes, Ruud van Nistelrooy. I hesitated with Andy Cole, but I choose Ruud because of his. The technique he's had was something very, very special. Yeah. He could beat a defender in a phone booth. Incredible.
He was supposed to sign a year before, wasn't he? And he had this ruptured ACL when he was at PSV, and he had to wait another 12 months to actually make his Premier League debut. But amazing that he came back from that injury and made an impact straight away like that.
It did, and goal scoring record. So at the time, it was between him and Thierry Henry to finish top goal scorer. And wow, what a finisher in the box. All of his goals, most of his goals, maybe all of them in the box. So for me, it was easy. When I play left back, I would cross behind the last defender in front of the goalkeeper in that space, and I would find him near post most of the time. I wouldn't even look. I knew he would be there.
A fallout with Sir Alex? There seems to be a trend, doesn't it? If you fall out with Sir Alex, you're out the door. Even though he went to Real Madrid, it was a massive move. But
there is only one boss. I think for Ruud, it was just a matter of, okay, you don't count on me to play as much. I think I deserve better, so he went.
He still had a great career, didn't he, after
he
Old
did.
Trafford, just like Cristiano. So one more player, one more spot. Who are we going for?
We're going for the other Ronaldo. People say the original. I would say Fenomeno.
Yeah.
I've had the chance to join him at Inter Milan when he was not at his peak yet after he had injuries, but in training I had to face him, imagine. So my target was like, I need to stop him, but I need to have him fit for the weekend.
Yeah.
So how do I manage that? But it's one of those players that, okay, when I was marking strikers in my career, you look at footage and you say, okay, he's got that trick, this trick, and he can do that, maybe 2 or 3. But Ronaldo would imagine, invent in any position he could get out of any duels and make something happen.
There aren't many players who would get away with playing with Barcelona and Real Madrid and Inter and AC. You know,
Yes.
Big rivals
Yeah,
like that. But amazing, he never won the Champions League.
Right. Like Ibrahimovic as well, yeah.
One of the best not to win it, yeah?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I mean,
but still,
when you talk about training, just go into that a little bit more. But what, was he just a complete freak of nature, even at that young age? You're right, he wasn't anywhere near his peak in 98, 99.
So, yeah, at that time, there wasn't any other player, striker that could be as fast as him, as powerful as him, and do those tricks at very high pace. You know, so he could get out of any situation, create something, score goals, assist. You know, the top poke in the World Cup in Japan and Korea. Yeah, what a player.
Did you ever think, I'm going to have one of those? Little Ronaldo?
That's the one thing I would never swap with him. But you know,
never tried it, no?
No, I never tried it. When we were in Italy, so together we would be get off the hotel or the bus. So the fans would be, Ronnie. And then when you realize it was me, with not Ronaldo.
Oh, what a player. What a team. Let's have a look at it, because it's worth, looking at the four. You gone for a 3-4-3. And look at those
yeah,
players,
the formation really didn't matter.
Just put them all out there and they'll go and win, won't they?
Exactly. I think they can do something in today's day as well.
The stupidest question I'm going to ask you, who's going to manage this team?
So, Alex?
The greatest of all time for you?
The greatest of all time for any type of sport, I believe, yes.
Do you appreciate him now more down the line, all these years later, than you did at the time? When you reflect back and you think, wow, to have had those years under him.
Of course, because when you're there, it's about doing the business day after day. You come to training, you want to play at the weekend, and you can't reflect. This is how it goes. But after that, you're like, wow, what is achieved? Not necessarily about only the trophy. It's about be able to change generation and to build new squad that can compete and win trophies at the highest level.
Did you see his softer side? He had a softer side. Obviously, he was playing cards with playing. We only ever saw one Sir Alex, really.
His softer cards was to be able to share his childhood, growing up in Glasgow with us, whenever he was taking a shower with us or traveling, playing cards, drinking wine. He would always talk about the French league, what Marseille had done at the weekend, Bordeaux and PSG. Very good person to be around.
And you were there really the start of the rebuild. He had to rebuild a team, and he did it many, many times, because that's when they say that's the mark of a fantastic coach, when you can go again and build a team again. Did he also sort of get those extra 20% out of players that perhaps weren't in their own heads thinking, I'm ready for this level?
Well, he was able to rebuild, that's for sure. He was also given the time. It didn't happen just by himself. He had a good setup at United and people believe in him. But he had the respect and the belief from everyone. And his capacity to rebuild all the time is, I wouldn't say is genius, because I don't know what genius is, but it was close from it.
He's definitely close, isn't he? What a team, what a manager. After the break, Mikael will tell us the toughest team that he came up against. And also, he's going to pick out his favourite moment on a pitch. So many moments to choose from. That could be the one. He'll talk us through that in a minute.